Okay, yes guys, welcome to the video. In this one, we're going to be talking about my top tips for how you can improve your lead quality if you are running meta ads. You're joining me from the sunny skies of Rhodes in Greece. Just before we start the video, there's one tip I could give to any, aspiring entrepreneur that's maybe at the start of that journey, which is kind of the bit that I've just come out of, I'd say, over the last couple of years, is go and take some time away where you remove yourself from the business, from the dream. When you're trying to get something off the ground, it consumes you. All of your topics are conversations, are work. Everything that you want to do is just that hustle, that grind. And if there's one thing I underestimated, it can bring you a massive return on investment. It's thinking. But if you're so busy to the point that your mind is always full, your ideas are not going to come to you. So this is the first time I've ever probably been away to somewhere, like this, and just had a week of just sitting by the pool and then just going out for nice dinners. And, your parents and all of the old people, right? That's their idea of a holiday. And I always thought, why would people want to do that? That's like so boring. But it's been one of the most productive trips that I've done because I've had so many new ideas and time to think about things that I would never have the bandwidth to because I'm so consumed with the day-to-day of the business. I think I'm going to come back, and these are the things that, those ideas have the power if you know what to do with them to make you thousands and change your life. All right, so on my phone, I've written 4 biggest tips that I wish somebody would have told me before I started running Facebook ads on how you can improve the lead quality, okay? So the very first one is the easiest way to make sure that you get leads that are actually in a position to go ahead and convert with you is to price qualify them. The most common objection of why, my clients think the leads are bad is because people can't afford it, okay? So how you can make that lead be in a position where you don't have that objection is to put the price actually in the ad. So if you see one of my clients' ads, you can click on it, and one of the qualifying questions are going to be, if you want to straighten your teeth, our treatment costs £3,000. Is this an amount you'd be willing to pay if you did decide to go ahead, or something like that? And the client has to say yes or no, just a clear lead filter. And a lot of the time people are not prepared to pay this, right? But just giving them a heads up on how much it costs, it means the people that come into the funnel, it's not out of the equation for them. Sometimes, I know you see all of these fancy sales trainers, Andy Elliott and all these guys say that you can overcome every single objection. You can't. Sometimes if someone genuinely doesn't have $3,000 spare to spend on getting their teeth done, it doesn't matter what dark art sales tactics you use, they're not going to be able to afford it. So if you're telling people before and then they make it onto a call with you, you should be in a position where it's unlikely you're going to get that price objection. Having said that, the main reason you get price objections is actually your fault. Having said that, if you are getting a lot of price objections, 90% of the time it's because of your sales pitch, especially if you've price qualified the lead before. Because 90% of the time, right, if someone is complaining about the price and saying they can't afford it, it's not like they can't. The value that they've attached to it in their head, the perceived value, does not match the monetary value of how much you're saying your service is worth. So you have 2 options then, because when these things align, that's when a sale comes in. But what can we do? You're either going to have to decrease the monetary value of the service, which is something I never recommend doing, or you can increase the perceived value of the service. And guess who's in control of that one? That's you, by the value in the information and the relationship that you build on that sales call. Tip number 2, always make sure you are running video ads instead of static image ads if you want to improve your lead quality. The problem with a static image ad, I refer to this as billboard advertising, where you can glance at it from miles away whilst you're driving in your car, and for 2 seconds you think you understand what this is about. And that's a dangerous game when it comes to running ads on Meta, because you don't want people to be able to glance at your ad and within 2 seconds think they know what it is, click on it and submit their details, because the lead is going to be uneducated. With a static ad, typically, the more words that you add to it, the worse the actual ad looks and performs. So if you're not able to add much context about what it is that you do, guess what? The leads are going to be uneducated, and an uneducated lead is always a bad lead. How I started improving my lead quality, even though I was probably getting cheaper leads from doing the static ads, is that I always run video ads. And the way I position these ads is, for at least 30% of that video, I don't want you to understand kind of what it is that I'm talking to you about. I'm not throwing any hard pitches in here. I'm just trying to give value. And that's important because I'm using the video as a form of qualifying in itself. The people that do become leads off the videos that I run for our clients, they're usually pretty good because the video is a form of qualifying. If they didn't watch at least half of that video, they're not going to have a clue what we're pitching them. So always run video ads because you want to use it to educate a prospect. A solid like 40 seconds, make it quite long, and give value, explain what it is that you do, because it's going to mean you have so many less questions later down the line. Tip number 3 is don't underestimate the power of loading your page with high quality short form content. So as advertisers, we know that the main thing that moves the needle when it comes to lead generation is the ad itself, okay? But you got to think about the customer journey. A lot of the better leads, they don't just see a random ad, click on it, and then inquire. They're going to see an ad, click on it, and then maybe vet you before they actually even want to exchange their time with you, right? Because the good leads, they're everyone this time poor. They don't just want to dash it out to anybody. You can be in a boat where your ad's amazing, you're getting cheap leads, the client takes the call, the client handles the call amazing, but the problem is 40% of information given verbally is forgotten. So when they forget this amazing pitch and all of the hard work that your funnel's done, they might go and vet the client, and maybe they stumble across the client's Instagram, and if they've got like 10 Instagram followers and like no content on there, it's going to leave them with a sour taste. And you know, I always say you need 3 certainties if you want to convert someone from an ad. They need to be certain that they need the product or service. They need to be certain about the person that they're speaking with, they trust them. They need to be certain about the company. It's going to be very tough for them to be certain about the company if you've got loads of minor red flags, like, you know, having Facebook posts from 2013, also having some crap Canva graphics posts on your Instagram. So don't lose clients for that reason. One of the biggest tips and one of the things I really underestimated was before I run ads for any of my clients, I do at least 10 good high quality videos, talking head videos, nothing, no crazy fancy edits, but almost using their page as a frequently asked questions, giving value, explaining the pain points that their customers have before they need to have even asked them for it. That's one of the quickest ways to build trust, and I guarantee if you do that, when you do then run ads, your lead quality is going to be better. Because what is an ad? An ad's just showing someone that you exist, but if you want to get the good customers, you got to show them something that looks professional and slick. So easy way to improve that. And the final tip number 4, is make sure you are following best practices when using qualifying questions. This is always a difficult one because you want as many leads in as you possibly can, because more leads mean more deals. Everybody acknowledges this. But the leads that come in, the worst thing that can happen is sending someone an unqualified lead, right? Because an unqualified lead will not only not buy off you, but they take your time. So that's worse than not sending someone anything in the first place, because they also don't buy off them and they don't have to spend any time with them. But it's important that you understand how this person found your business in the first place. Like, running ads on Instagram is a form of disruption advertising. They were not specifically looking for you. They're probably procrastinating, and then you popped up and then they've inquired with you. That person does not want to answer 8 questions in that moment. They just want to fill it out and crack on with what they're doing. So whenever we do qualifying questions for people, there is quite a significant drop off when you ask more than 3 qualifying questions. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, and people think, oh, you can't get good quality leads if you don't ask 3 qualifying questions. Yes, you can. Okay, you should be very specific and lead filter with 2 qualifying questions, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think 2 really good qualifying questions beat 8. I don't really do anything, all right? And you got to be prepared to cut people. You want to be asking yes or no or multiple choice questions, and if that person says the wrong thing, they're gone. So the way that I typically do it is question number 1 is something quite easy, and it has to be a yes or no. This is where you are going to kill the majority of the leads. So if, I don't know, I would use that price one, I would say, our treatments cost £3,000. Is this something you could afford if you decided to go ahead? Yes or no, something like that. And if they said no, boot them out. What's the point in speaking to this person? Okay. And then the second question, you want to ask something a little bit more detailed, and I would have it like a multiple choice where there's maybe 5 or 6 answers, because that's going to make you get more context about what it is that they do. Don't use short form answer questions. Even the good leads, they probably just can't be asked to fill out. They put some stupid answers. So stick to multiple choice and yes or no's, but make sure you are cutting the people that don't fit the brief. How I would actually further qualify these people is really on the back end with the automations. So you show someone quite a long video ad, which is going to educate them, right? If these people inquire, you ask them 2 very aggressive lead filtering questions to kick out the crap. Then if the lead comes in, I don't necessarily recommend randomly calling these people. You want to use an AI automation, such as getting the client to have a text message and seeing if they can book in with an AI automated texter, because If that person can't be asked to reply to a text message, they're probably not that interested in the first place, right? So not having too many qualifying questions, but qualifying in terms of their intent and interest and their responsiveness to get back to you and book in. These are things that end up being part of the qualifying process without you directly qualifying them, if that makes sense, okay? So those 4 tips are things that would have saved me absolutely thousands. You know, I think last year we spent around 538,000, I think the number was, on ad spend. You know, and a lot of that is money I'm spending to run ads for me too. So we got a lot of experience in doing this stuff. And if somebody would have told me those 4 gems that I've just told you, I would have saved hundreds of thousands from the get-go, okay? So hopefully you took some value there. Thank you, guys. If you are sick and tired of the 9 to 5 slugging it out and you want to see, you know, a bit more of the world and make 5, 10K, 15K, 20K working from your laptop, then learn a digital skill. Learn something where you get paid for the results that you bring for people, not time. In my opinion, the easiest way to do that is paid media advertising. Click on the link below if you are interested, or if you're a business owner and you're tired of crap agencies running your ads from their bedroom, also reach out below and we will get in touch with some consulting for you and hopefully help you, okay? Appreciate your time. Thanks, guys.